All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very chill bro in the house, Max Chillura. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You are the owner, founder, I guess partner in Chill Bros Scoop Shop. Mm-hmm. You own it with your siblings.
Yes, I do.
How did all that start? Is this a childhood dream turned into reality? Where did you guys come up with this idea?
Yeah, so like any group of children, we loved ice cream, and growing up down in South Tampa, there was never really a local player that really made a craft homemade ice cream. So as little kids, we joked around and dreamed about starting our own or bringing a homemade ice cream chain to our town. And it kind of just, obviously died on the vine. We were all, in middle school essentially. And from there, we all went and did our things. My sister pursued marketing and graphic design. My brother, finance and real estate. Real estate at the time. And then my little brother, he's just graduated school, so we're still figuring out what he's doing. But I came back from school and moved back to Tampa and realized there was still no real craft ice cream player. So about a year out of school, I went and set out on the mission, the crusade to bring ice cream to Tampa.
Pretty quick, a year out of school.
Yeah.
So real estate, what did you do in real estate?
I worked for a developer. Worked down on the Marina Point district.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sales, or what were you doing?
It was real estate development. So I was a junior analyst.
Oh, cool.
Just sort of general, right-hand guy to the developer.
Much preferred ice cream.
Yes.
Damn, dude. So you went to Italy right off the jump to learn the craft. Now, why Italy?
So there was two reasons. One, I loved Italy. I have Italian roots. My family is, well, I guess technically I'm half Italian. And Italy is really sort of a culinary mecca of the world, but also, believe it or not, they have a very good ice cream or gelato program over there that you can go and within a month kind of have a very strong grasp of the technical components of producing gelato. So
Interesting.
yeah, went over there. Oh, go ahead.
So I was just going to say, so it's almost like an ice cream school. Like literally that's what it is.
Yeah.
And how did you find that program?
Just started digging, looking
Yeah.
at the best spots around the country or around the world to learn how to make ice cream and do it really the right way. Just going back to the absolute roots of it, not getting the watered down kind of commercial version, but going for the,
This ain't no Bluebell.
No.
So you're looking up. So it sounds like you started off in America. Like you're looking up places around the country to learn this craft. Mm-hmm. You found this place in Italy. Are you in communication with your siblings at this point? Like, let's go into business. Let's start an ice cream shop.
No, I mean, at this point, everyone was still very new to their careers. My sister was still in school. My older brother was kicking off his career in real estate investment. And I just, probably got on a call with them and said, oh yeah, I'm going to try this ice cream thing. And they're like, oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Good for you, dude.
Go for it. Yeah. That'll be great. Yeah. And then, so went off and just kind of felt it out, wrote a business plan, over in Italy. It was gelato. So I took what the Italians do over there, mm-hmm. which is, everything's made with love. It's made from absolute scratch, handmade, and it's made with really the best ingredients they can get their hands on. They have access to, very good local ingredients there. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we at Chill Bros will have to import stuff, but, going through it in Italy, there was this attention to detail that you don't see. And gelato is a little different than ice cream. So I took the fundamentals of how they make Italian gelato, came back to the States, and through just kind of self-teaching and my background tied those technical components as well as some of the philosophies of Italian ice cream making and applied that to our hometown. So we were able to put an American Tampa spin on it.
I love that. Yeah, in Italy, that quality is in everything they do. It's really expressed everywhere in the architecture and the food and the design of their cities, even in their fashion. Like Italians, they got it going on. What is the difference between gelato and ice cream? Is it an ingredient difference? Is it the way you make it?
So there's a couple things. Yeah, there's different machines you make it on. They're very close, but your gelato is going to have a higher sugar content, lower fat, and generally speaking, you have a denser product with less air incorporation and more intense flavors. So your strawberry gelato is going to really ring that strawberry flavor. Generally speaking, ice cream is higher fat, a little bit more air incorporation. The flavors are a little more muted because of that higher fat content. But you know what we do, and it kind of happened through osmosis of learning in Italy, is our product kind of sits somewhere in the middle. So we have, we focus on that intensity of flavor. So that's super important to us, is getting flavors that really just ring true to what we say they are. And we have that higher fat content. And our air incorporation is much lower than any other, your general American ice cream. So you kind of get the best of both worlds mixed into our product.
Yeah, gelato to me is almost like a sorbet. Like a strawberry gelato is so fruit heavy. There's almost no dairy flavor to me. But then ice cream is that thick, your mouth is just filled with dairy. And so you guys are somewhere in between. Did that come from you exploring those recipes of gelato in Italy, and you said, let me try to figure out a balance between these two things?
Yeah, I think it wasn't so much intentional, or it was more just going off of what I personally liked, and it was, let's take those qualities from the Italian gelato, but let's also take those components from the American gelato that will probably have more of an appeal over here, and B, they're just, in my opinion, better. So.
I totally agree. You have great taste. Your stuff is incredible. How long were you in Italy for?
It was a little over a month.
Oh, wow.
So the program was a month, and then I stayed for, you're over there, so I stayed for an extra week.
Might as well, right? Flew all that way.
Yeah.
So what's this class schedule like? I mean, are you literally in class like Monday through Friday, or how does that all work?
That was brutal, man. We woke up
really
every morning.
No.
We were there at probably 8:00 every morning. They had just an espresso machine in the corner, so you pour yourself an espresso. And the first part of the day, probably the first 4 hours, was classroom and ice cream theory, learning, balancing recipes.
The history of ice cream.
Yeah. The history, the chemistry, the physics, believe it or not. And then the second half of the day, going till probably about 6:00, was hands-on, making ice cream in the lab, working on the machinery, doing different styles of ice cream and gelato and sorbets and granitas and all of that.
So 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're working on ice cream. You're learning about it. You're mixing flavors. You're trying it yourself. Yep. Holy shit, man. You did your homework on this. At the end of that course, did you feel confident? Like, ooh, I know what kind of recipes I'm going to do. Let's run with it.
No, no. It was like any form of education. So you go in there and it gave you the tools, but then it was time to go home and it was time to apply everything you learned and really start troubleshooting. So
yeah,
it took a little while after that to really hone it in, but it definitely gave me more confidence. But we weren't at the finish line there yet.
And then so the first kind of steps was that creating the space? I mean, there's a lot that you guys have done, right? You guys are not just an ice cream shop, right? Where, I mean, what I'm trying to say is you have so much attention to detail in everything you do in terms of branding, the design of your scoop shops, the actual ice cream. Was there a ton of planning and then you opened up, or did you open up and then just try to run with it?
Oh yeah. There was a ton of planning. So the ice cream component of it was the most important.
Yeah.
But not to discredit the time and effort that went into developing the concept, building the brand. It was really, really important for us. Like we talked about, there was a need in Tampa for an ice cream shop, and when I say that, I mean the actual product. We needed a homemade scratch product, but it went beyond that. There's this, whether you're in, really any city around the country, and then even going over to Italy and seeing every little neighborhood had their meetup spot, their ice cream shop. So there is an experience associated with ice cream, and we wanted to really capture that and make a physical location where people can come together that is clean, it's comfortable, it feels good, bright, energizing. So we spent a lot of time putting together a playlist. We went around to a couple cities throughout the U.S. We went up to New York, went to California, over on like Venice Beach.
And you say we, your siblings?
Well, I kind of speak in we. Yeah, it was me, my siblings. I had some people that helped me start it up at the time, and just did a lot of R&D, and just really got into the design of it.
Yeah.
And we brought on a great interior designer who helped us really lay out the space and the feel and the brand. And the themes that we started with in Ybor have kind of, made it through to all the future locations.
It makes sense. Ybor City is Tampa, right? That's like the cultural heart of our city. So it totally makes sense that you would draw those themes to the rest of your locations. How did you find that first location? Did you have your eyes set on Ybor?
So at the time, I still live there, but I lived in Ybor, and we were looking all over the place. We looked down in South Tampa. We looked in the Heights area, and we couldn't find anything that was big enough to produce the ice cream at, while also being like on a main strip.
Right.
So
that's a very key component, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you're in a back alley, no one's going to check you out. The whole idea is after dinner, ice cream, let's get some.
Yeah, and ice cream, it's such an impulse buy, and there are people that it's premeditated when it's really, really good. But when we were getting up and running, we were like, we have to be front and center. We have to have walking traffic. So one day, this is right across the street from where I used to get breakfast. I walk 3 blocks from my house, and one of our friends tipped me off on it and said that they were leasing the space. So we went over, and we being myself and our general contractor buddy, and we started looking at this space, and within a second of walking in, like, yeah, that's it. That's where we're going.
Isn't Gaspar's Grotto across the street?
That's 1 block over. But
what's the breakfast spot across the street?
It was La Tropicana, but no longer exists.
Legendary Tampa restaurant.
Wonder what the plan is there.
Do you have any idea?
They're opening up a taco restaurant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a great property. Big parking lot, historic building.
Big corner piece.
That's awesome, man. So you open this one up, and then, I mean, how long does this thing take to get rolling? Like you said, there's a ton of research from the colors, the fonts, the branding. Like you really can tell you guys did your homework before opening. How long did it take to get this thing up and running?
Let's see. So from the time I got back from Italy, I'd say it was probably 8 months.
Wow, relatively quick though.
Yeah, not too crazy. There's probably 2 months before I went to Italy of some business planning. Went to Italy, and then 8 months, we were open.
Wow. Pretty quick in the scheme of things. Was there anyone along the way that was like, like, that's not a good idea? There's already a lot of ice cream out there.
There probably were, but they didn't say it to my face. I kept it pretty low key.
Yeah.
All up until opening, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, from the people that were involved, my family, and all those that we worked with, there was a lot of support. Everyone was on board. They knew that we needed ice cream. Yeah, at the very worst, they're like, hey, at least we'll have, some decent ice cream for a couple months before.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense though. Like from a business perspective, Tampa did have a pocket in the market for local ice cream like this, very artisanal ice cream. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that place I'm 31, I'm turning 32 in June, so I don't know how old you are, but do you remember the old meeting house on Howard?
Yeah.
That was my ice cream spot when I was a little kid after school.
I used to go there too.
I don't know if it was homemade though. They might have just popped open like a Bluebell tab or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I think there was a time where they were doing it similar to us, but I think by the time we got to it, it was probably a little bit more standardized.
Yeah, and now I believe Daily Eats is there.
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing, man. So when you first opened this location on 7th Avenue, did you have customers rolling in pretty quickly?
Yeah. So like we said, it's an impulse buy. So we opened this thing sort of, we didn't have a grand opening schedule. We sort of just, one of my buddies came in. He's like, dude, you just got to open it. Just open it and we'll figure it out. We've got the staff. Just
were you overthinking
Yeah. It's that getting kind of just hesitating, trying to make sure everything's perfect before you like open the doors. But yeah, the first day we had family working. People were walking in. We were hiring people on the spot, training them pretty much that night or the next day. So it was a fun and very exciting time. We had all hands on deck, and believe it or not, I mean, we did really good sales that day because it was Ybor. It was a Saturday. We had lots of people just walking through. We were standing on the corners, handing out free sample flyers, and we got a lot of folks in there, and it was the first time, you go basically a year of not seeing any, like just questioning everything that's going to happen. And that first day we had tremendous response of, that's the best ice cream I've ever had. And it was affirmation that we were doing something right.
What flavors were you serving at that time from the jump?
So we had the bee's knees, chronic popcorn, Belgian brownie was in there, double down Oreo, the guava pastelito. We had vanilla, of course, and we had a couple flavors that I don't think we serve anymore. We just had like straight peanut butter. I think we kind of just threw that together.
Peanut butter, mix it up.
Yeah,
sounds good though.
Yeah,
isn't there another peanut butter flavor you have?
We do, yeah. So we amped it up. We make homemade peanut butter cups now, and we put it inside that peanut butter ice cream. So it's
that's a lot better than straight peanut butter. We got to talk about double down Oreo, my personal and my wife's favorite flavor. It's insane. You've taken, I'm assuming, a vanilla ice cream or a plain ice cream base, turning that into an Oreo flavor.
Yeah.
Using the cookies from the Oreo. So then you have this Oreo flavored ice cream. Then you mix in whole Oreo chunks. Yeah. And you have this incredibly chocolatey, creamy, like each bite tastes like a full Oreo. It is insane. How did you come up with that idea? And you have a vegan version.
So, back to what we were talking about earlier, it's a intensity of flavor is in my DNA. So the first time I ever made it, I was going out to the beach with our whole family. We do like a 4th of July thing. And this was before Chill Bros was really a thing. I was just the guy that kind of knew how to make ice cream. So I threw it together real quick. I just had a little ice cream machine, and I was like, all right, how can we make the most Oreo flavored Oreo ice cream possible?
Are you sucking back a few beers at the time? Because it seems like kind of a
yeah. We were in a hurry,
right.
So yeah, just blended in an absurd amount of Oreos, froze it, and then just threw even more chunks of Oreos in there to give it that extra double down kick.
Is it your top selling flavor?
It is.
Yeah, it must
by a pretty decent margin.
It is incredible. How now new flavors, right? You guys are very creative with your flavors. Some of them I've never even heard of before. Mm-hmm. What's the guava one again?
So the guava is a spin off of the guava pastelito.
Pastelito.
So it's a cream cheese ice cream. It's a sweet cream cheese ice cream, and we make a homemade guava variegation. So like a guava jelly, and it's a sharp, sweet guava jelly ribbon that goes through the ice cream. And then we take a puff pastry and we cut it into small cubes and we candy it. So it's got a little layer of sugar over it.
A little crunch.
Yeah. So it's, one of the head nods to the guava pastelito, the kind of Ybor history, but that one's been with us since day one, and it's got a big cult following. It's not quite Double Down Oreo, but
no, that's my number 2. Yeah. Oh, is that a video? If you could play that, Tyler. Look how you guys fold it in evenly. You never have a pint that's like, oh man, I got one pastelito in there. Yeah. No, it's all very evenly mixed, very intentional. Good God, what's that one? Like a Snickers.
That's the Tampa banana.
Oh, loud.
Yeah.
I know what I'm having after dinner tonight. So the cream cheese ice cream portion of the guava pastelito, I feel like most ice cream I've ever had, when it's a mixed flavor, even at like Cold Stone Creamery or some of these chains, it's almost like they would take the guava pastry, chop it up, and then put it in with vanilla and mix it up.
Right.
You guys actually break that down further, and you actually have a cream cheese ice cream.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that, I feel your actual base flavor has so much to do with why your ice cream has so much difference in flavor across the board. Like you're getting the crunch from the actual pastry. You're tasting that sharp kind of sweet guava flavor, but then it's all mixed in with a cream cheese ice cream. Yeah. What made you decide? I mean, I know why you decided to go that route, because you were very flavor focused, but I feel like that's a huge difference between you guys and a lot of other companies. Cream cheese ice cream is not something a lot of people would think of. Why did you do it that way instead of just this typical way American ice cream is made?
Yeah, so that's part of that sort of Italian influence.
Yeah.
The reason you get a lot of kind of bland ice creams is the ice cream base it's like a chemistry project. So you have to have a very uniform balance across all of your flavors, and a lot of the larger producers, that's tough to do at scale, and it's expensive, and you have to do a lot of different things to the base, where it's a lot easier to just have sort of one base and you don't play with it much, and you just kind of build things off of the 2 ice cream flavors that you have. Now, when we look at flavors, like you said, it's a deconstruction of what we're trying to achieve. And, the ice cream itself is the biggest component of, there's the mix-ins, there's the ice cream, and then there's, any ribbons that you're going to put inside of it. So the ice cream's the vessel. It's usually 75 to 80% of what's going into our product. So that's a huge opportunity to incorporate the flavors that you want to dominate. So I guess I kind of lost where I was going with that, but
well, your point though is that you'd be missing out massively on flavor if that cream cheese ice cream was just a vanilla or a basic flavor. Like having that base of cream cheese in the guava pastelito really is the game changer. I think it would taste completely different if you didn't have that base.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And really, all of your flavors are like that. Like the Lucky Charms one, it's, I believe it, the actual ice cream, besides the marshmallows, it tastes like the cereal itself.
Yeah. So that one we toast off the actual like dry cereal component minus the marshmallows, and
Are
then
you in there like a little squirrel, separating the marshmallow?
believe it or not, yes. Like me personally, no, but I used to. But yeah, we hand separate the cereal from the marshmallows. We toast the cereal to bring some of the flavor out, and then we infuse that into the ice cream base and then strain it. So you get that cereal milk, just goodness that comes with Lucky Charms.
Unbelievable. Now, why toast it? I mean, I get the idea, but did that come from you not toasting it, having it not turn out well, going backwards?
Yeah. So we went in, our head chef, Chef Amy, she's, we go through a number of renditions before we arrive at the final process. And we took the cereal, we blended it in, strained it out, and it was good, but it lacked that pop. And we do that same thing with any sort of oat incorporation that we do with any nuts. So it develops the flavor. You get a little bit more robust of a slightly cooked cereal flavor that cuts through the cream a little bit more than just the cereal as it lies.
Yeah, because it is kind of a basic cereal. Like if you just have a handful of those, not the marshmallows, but the actual cereal, they're pretty bland. There's really not that much flavor in Lucky Charms. It's crazy how you've like toasted it, actually brought out that flavor, and then implemented it in the actual dairy base. So what is the dairy base? Like, how do you guys just make your basic ice cream?
Yeah, so that is it's our one of our main differentiators, and it's one of the secrets to our success. It's not really a secret, but it goes back to kind of the ultimate simplicity of ice cream. It's cutting out all the junk, the stabilizers, the gums, the syrups. So we make a extremely clean classic custard base, and that's just milk, cream, sugar, salt, and egg yolks.
That's it.
And that's it. It's what everyone starts with.
Wow. Yeah, no wonder why it tastes so good and clean. Sometimes when you get ice cream from a national chain, there's this like chalkiness to it.
Yep.
Is that a product? I mean, if you guys were to scale and go national and be in grocery stores, would you have to add some of those ingredients to stabilize it on the shelf? I feel like there is a factor of scale.
There is. That is something that we would eventually have to. We don't have to do anything, but if we were to scale it, that would be something we'd have to address.
Right.
There are ways to do it without adding unnecessary ingredients. The reason a lot of folks do that is because of the transit, because of the fluctuations in temperature through shipping across the country. But you can do it with those ingredients. Those egg yolks, the higher fat, they serve as a stabilizing agent naturally. And if you are able to keep that up, the thing about the high fat, the thing about the egg yolks is they're far more expensive. Which a lot of people shy away from that. We don't, and we won't. And it's something that as we continue to grow and find our way through our ultimate goals, we're gonna come to that, and if anything gets in the way of the quality of our ice cream, we're not gonna sacrifice.
Never sacrificing quality. So it's really a premium ice cream product. I mean, it's not so much focused on anything but quality. Highest quality milk, cream, eggs, all of that sort of stuff.
Right.
Never to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess growing, that's just a different challenge a hurdle you have to cross whenever you want to get there, I guess. That's awesome, man. So back to the very beginning, I think you said you opened in 2019, right pre-COVID. How did the challenges from COVID occur? I mean, that's a tough path and a long road to get down. You mentioned Uber Eats was a big factor in
Yep.
some of that success.
Yeah. So what was it? About 5 months in, we got hit with COVID and basically a full shutdown. And we were in Ybor, which is a very tourist-driven market, so
Right.
it really turned into a ghost town. At the time, it was it was I was essentially the only person in the kitchen going into COVID, which probably wasn't the worst thing. And then we had we had just a handful of folks up front that were running the shop. So when that all went down, a couple things happened. We switched completely over to pint sales. So, I mean, the months leading up to that COVID switch, we probably were selling. It might have been 15 pints a month, just something super low like that. Once COVID occurred, we were jumping into the hundreds to probably about 500 pints a month, and
Wow.
we obviously weren't scooping anything, but we switched over completely to Uber Eats, grab and go. Everything was put in pints, and what it did do for us was it at the time it broadened us from an Ybor ice cream shop to a 5 mile radius, all of Tampa ice cream shop. And everyone was looking to those delivery services to get all of their product. And at the time, there was really one, local ice cream player. And that gave us a little more clout. We got into people's, freezers that probably wouldn't have otherwise,
Right.
even known we were there, because Ybor's a little bit outside of people's normal routines.
Yeah. Interesting, man. So after that, right, after you've maybe through COVID established your brand throughout the city, at the end of COVID, is that when you said, man, we got to get locations all over town?
Yeah. So going into the initial business plan was kind of to open two of them, pretty close succession. So we had already had our eyes set on a South Tampa location, which was our second one down on Beta Bay, and we signed the lease on that probably right before COVID, which was a little bit scary, but with that switch, we probably could have pulled out if we wanted, but the that switch over and seeing the response with all the delivery services, with where all those orders were coming from, we just steamed ahead with the South Tampa location, and that one was super close to home. That was sort of
That was a childhood dream.
that was a childhood dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a couple blocks from our house, and my mom and dad go over there with the dogs all the time now. It's like if they had kids, that we would have been there every single
Full
weekend.
circle, bro. That was probably an awesome experience opening that South Tampa location in your own neighborhood. That's awesome. So throughout COVID, when you're cranking out 500 a month, like where is all that being created in the Ybor City location? Like where are you making all of this ice cream?
Yeah. So at the time, it was all in Ybor.
Was that pretty hectic behind the scenes there?
Yeah. So it was at that point. It was basically we had one person working the shop, and I was making all the ice cream going into COVID. And when there was
You're good.
when there was once COVID came into full swing, I had my little brother who was in college at the time, and he had to go back home for obvious reasons, and he immediately became a ice cream maker. So he came in, started helping me, and yeah, it was pretty hectic. It's a lot to pack that many pints by hand.
Bro, I can't imagine.
If you saw what we do now, it's way more than we ever did back then. So it's
Let's fast forward. Where are we at now? How many pints are you selling a month? Just to get an idea of volume.
I should know that off the top of my head. We are going through. Let me do some quick math.
Sure.
We are doing. I think it's about 5,000. Yeah. So it's a lot.
Where are you making all this ice cream? Do you guys have a warehouse or something?
We do it all in our. Sorry, it's not 5,000. It's probably more like 3. But
even so,
but still, it's a lot.
It's
a lot of
quite
pints.
a bit. Yeah.
So we're rolling through about 3,000 pints a month, and it's all being made in our or out of our South Howard location.
Okay, the one in the Epicurean Hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So behind the actual scoop shop there, we have I guess it's a 1,700 square foot production facility.
Okay.
Which it's amazing what we crank out of there. It's a pretty small space.
Is all the ice cream made in that one location?
Yep. It's all made there and then distributed out to each location.
Now that's kind of an interesting business switch you guys had to make, right? Now you're distributing the ice cream, which obviously you're not going far. What's the furthest you'd have to go? Maybe Ybor?
The furthest is, Ybor's
which that's not that crazy of a drive. But still, quick, right? You're cranking it out in one facility. Do you guys have specific drivers that are literally hauling ice cream all day, or how do you guys set that up?
Yeah, so we have right now we run 4 days a week. We send ice cream and we divide it up. Each location gets 2 deliveries a week. And we have, I don't know if we could pull it up, but we have the ice cream mobile. It's a freezer truck, and we've got a guy that he's head of logistics, but he ships ice cream. He drives it all, loads it up, and wow, yeah,
that's insane. Now, are you in any other? Can you buy Chill Bros anywhere besides obviously Uber Eats ordering it in these locations? Are you in anywhere else, like an airport or a kiosk somewhere?
Nope, no. Only in our shops and through Uber Eats at the moment.
Do you plan on expanding to different locations outside of your own scoop shops?
No,
not
at the moment.
Yeah.
So
just because it's heavy and
there's a level of control with our product right now that I guess there's the larger scale retail component of wholesaling to grocers and all that stuff, and we're a little ways away from being able to do that. Our production facility is still small, and we see a better opportunity with maintaining our own ice cream shops and controlling.
Look at this damn thing, hand painted.
Oh yeah.
I was literally going to ask if you have a van that has a Chill Bro sign on it that hauls ice cream. So you do. So this is it. So you had a guy come out and paint the side of this amazing van with the Chill Bros logo. So catch this guy, what'd you say, twice a week riding around town?
Yep. I
love it. Now, why twice a week? Did you start off with every day and twice a week was optimal?
Well, we've always run it. We've always run it twice a week. That gets us geared up for the weekend and then replenishes us after the weekend for the rest of the week. So
it's a lot more than ice cream, isn't it, Max? I mean, logistics and it's real estate and it's finance and sounds like in the beginning, literally it was just you.
Mm-hmm.
But how big is your team now? I mean, you must have someone who's in charge of operations and all of these sorts of things. It's kind of grown into quite a large company in a short time, really.
Yeah. We it's blown up. We went from day one, we had probably 8 people, and now we're at 75 employees, which is
that's so crazy.
Which is pretty
in
wild.
5 years.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. So you're very much focused on the quality and the locality of your ice cream. So it doesn't sound like there's necessarily a plan to be in Publix around the Southeast and stuff like that. Maybe that's on the radar, but certainly it doesn't sound like that's at all what you're focused on. You're just focused on your consistency.
Right. Yeah. Right now we still see a lot of opportunity in the Tampa Bay market from a scoop shop perspective. And we want to establish ourselves as just the top ice cream and the very best ice cream, not just in Tampa, but in the country and in the world. We want to be creating something truly special, and right now we want to grow, at a sustainable rate. So we don't want to sacrifice any of that in order to get a contract with Publix. And I understand the next phase that would get us to there is a big one. So we still have a lot of work to be done in our local market and with our product to continue to make it better. So we're gonna attack that first before we make the leap into larger scale production.
And it totally makes sense that you wouldn't necessarily be comfortable right now with your pints in some other retail shop, because what if they let it melt? What if what if they keep it dirty? What if you just don't have quality control at all?
Yeah.
And then you ruined your brand for what? Maybe a few extra dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. It ties into kind of going back to the beginning of our conversation that there's Chill Bros. We have our product and it's something that's front and center, but on top of that, Chill Bros is an experience. It's a brand. It's just a lifestyle, if you will. I mean, it's not a lifestyle. It's not the right word for it, but
it kind of is, man.
It's a unique experience, and we'd hate for, to sell someone our ice cream and have it be, lacking pieces.
And like you said, too, it's not just about the pints. Like, obviously, someone could enjoy a pint at home, but your whole idea is a place for them to enjoy ice cream after a meal, walking around Water Street, whatever that may be. And you go to the one on Beta Bay, and there's like 50 Plant High School kids there hanging out for hours, right? They love that place, just like you would have loved that place when you were a kid. That's awesome, man. What about sprinkles? You guys certainly don't make those.
We don't make the sprinkles.
Okay.
But we have a very craft sprinkle maker that we're very happy with.
So it's not rainbow sprinkles from Publix or anything like that, or Costco?
No. These.
So you've literally thought about the sprinkles themselves, the ingredients in the sprinkles. Now, what makes your sprinkles different from anywhere else?
It's the crunch. They've got a nice. They're called Crunchy Jimmies. They're really crispy, crunchy sprinkles that don't get soft or soggy. They're legit.
What's the deal with Jimmy's? I keep seeing Jimmy's. Is that the brand
Jimmy's?
name, or is that a
No,
Northeastern
it's
thing?
a Northeastern thing.
Okay. I never called them.
I never called them Jimmy's either.
No.
But
Crunchy Jimmy's.
Crunchy sprinkles. We can call them either one.
So do you get people? There's a lot of people from the Northeast here in Tampa now. Do you get people coming in and saying, "Hey, throw some Jimmy's on my ice cream"?
Yeah. That's kind of. Trust me, I'd never heard that before in my life. And like within a couple of days of scooping at Ybor, it's like 5 people
Within
were
a couple
for
days.
Jimmy's. Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, real quick. People were like, hey,
And you're like, huh?
Jimmy's? Can I get Jimmy's on that? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Interesting, man. So you got Crunchy Jimmy's. So this craft sprinkle maker. And then I also read online, you source a lot of your stuff from artisanal places, like your Plant City strawberries or your pistachios from Sicily.
Yep. Yeah. So
Mount Etna.
It's important to us, and it's those ingredients are, they're what makes the ice cream very special. It's a sum of all of its parts. So this new flavor we have, the holy cannoli, we're using top-notch ricotta cheese in every single tub of ice cream. We've got, Turkish pistachio mixed in. And then, for our actual pistachio ice cream, we have the absolute best Sicilian pistachio paste that's like, you can't find anything better.
Well, you guys do it legit like Italy. Like when you go to Italy and you get Sicilian pistachio or just pistachio gelato, it's very blended. The whole thing's great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In America, when you go to a national franchise, even some local places, and you get pistachio ice cream, it's just like chopped pistachios with vanilla ice cream mixed in. It's kind of
put a little bit of like almond extract, which doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense at all. You guys do it the right way.
Oh yeah.
Can you scroll all the way to the top of their Instagram, Tyler? There's a photo. You guys just released 4 Italian flavors. So click that photo. So what do we got here? You explained Sicilian pistachio, pistachios from the volcanic soils of Mount Etna, Italy.
Yes.
Which is the best place to get pistachio. Holy cannoli. Now, what's the ice cream base? Are you doing a ricotta
Yeah.
base?
So it is hand dipped ricotta ice or ricotta cheese goes into every single ice cream. We put, I mean, you'd have to see it. It's for each 3-gallon tub, we put this huge cone of ricotta in it, and no one does it over here. It's like when I was in Italy, that if I ever saw that on the menu, the ricotta ice cream, you just get it every time because it's milky, it's smooth, it's the creaminess of it is out of this world. So it tastes, the ice cream itself tastes like cannoli filling, which
my God.
is one of the greatest things on the planet. And then on top of that, we do a Italian method of incorporating chocolate. So it's a stracciatella, and it breaks into these really fine chocolate pieces. And then, of course, the rough chopped pistachios go in there and just sets it off.
I cannot wait to try that one. And then olive oil. I was at Roca. They had olive oil. It doesn't seem like I've been to Italy a few times. I haven't seen it a whole lot in Italy. What made you decide to do that flavor?
So the olive oil was one that, I had it in Italy, and when I was up in New York, I actually tried it, and it's such a unique and interesting flavor.
Yeah.
And, olive oil turns a lot of people off, but the olive oil we put in this is not like the stuff you're frying your eggs
Virgo.
in. Yeah, it's not that. It's very nuanced, it's very herbal and fruity. So you get this very complex flavor. And I always put a light sprinkling of sea salt on top of it when you eat it. It just sets it off. It's
Interesting.
It's a really unique ice cream that I think a lot of people shy away from, but should definitely give it a shot.
Well, it sounds weird, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it does.
It does, yeah.
So olive oil, like how are you taste testing different olive oils for the right flavor?
Yeah. Yeah. So we went through, I probably tasted about 15 different olive oils.
Wow.
And it goes beyond just a high quality olive oil. So we're tasting these, and there's super, super expensive high quality olive oils that are very buttery, and they just, if you dipped your bread in it, you'd fall in love with it. But it gets lost in ice cream because it just kind of blends in with the cream, and it just sort of adds more of a textural element, and it's not noticeable. So in this process, we've really nailed it down to it's a very sharp olive oil that has really like pronounced fruit notes, and it's got a little bit of a spiciness. So, and it's not like spicy, but
There's a bite though.
It's
right?
got a little bit of a bite, so it cuts through that cream, and you get that really. It's a very, very sharp, fruity and spicy olive oil flavor. And I might not be doing it justice with my description right now, but
Well, it's hard to imagine.
right,
I mean, olive oil ice cream, you wouldn't think that would be good at all. So sea salt is the secret. When you order
sea
it,
salt, yeah. So it comes with it, but we take a really fine, or not fine, but a flaked sea salt, Maldon sea salt, and you just get a light sprinkling on top and get a little bit of that in each bite, and it really brings out the olive oil flavor. It's a little more savory than your typical ice cream, just because you're adding more salt, but it's good stuff.
I would imagine crunchy Jimmy's would not taste good on olive oil ice cream.
No, I would not put that on.
Did you try it? Did you experiment?
I have never done that. I'm sure it would taste fine, but it would not do. It would probably take away a little bit.
And what's this next one? Hazelnut Gyandoja? How do you say that? Gianduja Crunch.
Yes.
So what is that?
So
Sounds incredible.
that again is a very Italian. Well, it's sort of combination of Italian flavors. So the hazelnut or gianduja is a chocolate and hazelnut blend. So it's essentially it's like what Nutella is. Like Nutella is the brand of gianduja. So it's chocolate with hazelnut. So what we do is we make the ice cream itself is blended with a hazelnut paste from Italy, from the Piedmont region of Italy, and that has an intense hazelnut flavor. And then we take these crispy dried crepes called fouilletine. So it really kind of gives you it's like a fancy crunch bar. So it's very crispy, and we coat that in that gianduja. So we melt down chocolate and blend it with hazelnut paste, and then that is then coated all over this fouilletine.
Almost like a peanut brittle consistency type deal, where it's like a crunchy with the chocolate toffee, not toffee obviously, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's like a crunchy.
Yeah, so you're getting kind of like if you've ever had it's like a chocolate bark almost. So a little bit like if you ever had like that white trash mix where everything's like kind of coated in chocolate, it's kind of like that. So you've got we actually have like half to rough chopped hazelnuts, and then it has that fouilletine, and then that's all coated in chocolate, and it creates a bark, and then we break the bark up into little pieces. So it's crispy. It's good.
Oh Lord, sounds absolutely incredible. You also mentioned you have a new flavor coming out. Can you release that yet, or is that a secret? Well, remember, I guess this will come out in 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, it'll be out. We've got spumoni. So spumoni it's really a tribute to my grandfather. He used to come into the shop all the time in the last 5 years, and he'd always come in and he'd ask if I have spumoni, and I was like, what are you talking about? What is spumoni? So he explained it to me, obviously, and explained to me the history in Ybor, and as he was growing up, that was like a staple. It's a combination of chocolate, pistachio, and cherry. So the stuff that he grew up with was a little bit different than what we're making. Spumoni was pretty universal, and a lot of the larger ice cream companies made it sort of probably the complete opposite of how we would make it. Right. But so I went in, and with his sort of oversight and feedback, we developed this ice cream with a chill bros and like a real Italian twist on it. So we take Luxardo cherries, and we make a Luxardo cherry ice cream. So it's those black bitter cherries, and we blend that into the ice cream, and we take some of that Luxardo cherry juice, blend that in, and then we actually rough chop Luxardo cherries and scatter that throughout. And then we take the pistachio ice cream that we normally make, and my grandfather was super big on having actual pieces of pistachio in there, so we threw actual pistachios into the pistachio, and then we make a really smooth chocolate ice cream, and we incorporate Italian espresso into that. So it's got a very bold. The espresso really adds to the chocolate flavor more than anything. So you get this roasty, bold chocolate ice cream.
It's a lot coming at you
in one pint. Yeah.
That's a ton coming at you. Is this an entirely blended ice cream, or is it kind of like how you usually do it, where you get these little pockets of different flavor?
Yeah. So this one's going to be. It's going to have, each flavor is going to have its own identity in there. It's basically spaded in, and we do our best to keep three divided flavors.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's a challenge. Like you have a coffee flavor, pistachio flavor, cherry flavor, right? Chocolate flavor, all in one.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Amazing. Let's talk about your newest location.
Yeah.
Congratulations on opening in Armature Works.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Talk about where the eyes and the traffic is on you. That is the perfect spot. Did you have your eyes on Armature Works for a long time?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's it's such a cool place. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is. Like when people come to Tampa, it's like, you go to Burns, you go to Columbia. If there's a Lightning game, you go to that, and you go to Armature Works.
Right.
It's a really, really cool spot, and it's unbelievable how many people make it through those doors every day. So we were absolutely ecstatic to get the opportunity to go in there. And we had our eyes on it. We early on, like, we opened up Chill Bros, and we're talking about Chill Bros kind of like a couple months after Armature had opened. I remember kicking myself.
Yeah.
Man, if we would have opened
Right.
up a couple months earlier. But we got the opportunity close to a year ago to build out a space where there currently hadn't been anything, and we jumped on it, and it was an awesome move.
Was there any other ice cream shop in Armature Works before that?
There was, yeah.
Trying to think, what was it?
It was called Astros.
Okay.
Yeah.
They obviously bailed out. Maybe they didn't do well. I don't know. I would imagine you guys would be doing the best in Armature Works. I mean, there's so many people in there who are eating.
Yeah.
And then, ice cream, let's get a scoop. Makes so much sense. And you're in a very prominent spot too, in that kind of main food hall area, right off the outdoor waterfront.
Yeah.
Super, super cool location. Now, this didn't exist before, right? You guys built out a new location. Like, this kiosk wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are located right, basically on those big, fold out windows right on the big lawn on the Riverwalk. So you can kind of see it there.
Freaking unreal.
But the location is fantastic, and that previously was just a wall with a couple tables on it.
Now, did they approach you guys, or they put an offering out, or did you go to them?
We maintained relations with them. Our landlord at our Beta Bay location is also the Armature Works owner, so we had been on their radar, and when there was an opportunity, they called us first, which was really great.
Now, you don't have there's no back access here, correct? I mean, you just have this front. So
right.
You're getting deliveries here.
Yeah, it's tight. It's a lot of volume for a little tiny spot. But, that's the way you got to do it. We do have a small offsite little storage area that we have just loaded up with freezers.
Okay, good. Because I see one freezer. I'm like, how the hell are you going to? That's awesome, man. What's your best performing location?
Right now it's Armature. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
It's just steady traffic all day, pretty much.
All day. Weekends, probably crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's awesome. And it's got your Chill Bros theme too. I think we spoke before, maybe I was talking to Sally, but your sister does the design, like the branding, the marketing, all that. She crushes it. You guys have such a fluid brand. I love the chicken theme. It's simple. There's almost this, if I could say, like a childish font, and like a fun ice cream type design to it. I love it, man. You guys have done a cool job. It's sweet. It's interesting too how it's all a family business. So you are the, I guess, head of what, business and ice cream?
Yeah.
Your sister's doing marketing. How are your other family members involved?
Yeah. So my older brother, like I mentioned earlier, he's in private equity, real estate focused. So he's really been a driving force behind finding new locations and kind of helping make the decisions on the right location, modeling out the future performance, and making sure we're not, going to go in somewhere that we're going to regret. So he's been integral in that capacity, and then just from a general, sounding board for all things business, he's a big contributor. And then my little brother, he just graduated college, so like I said, he came in Yeah, that's our April Fool's flavor. We didn't actually make that, but the
My wife commented she got fooled. She's so gullible in the cutest way.
And then my little brother, he helped us through COVID, actually making the product, and he's actually just graduated, and he's got a job lined up next fall, but in the interim, he's helping us with some of our marketing and kind of giving my sister some support on that front.
He got a crash course in business, man.
Yeah,
like jumping straight from college into this ever growing, expanding business.
Oh yeah,
it's freaking awesome. Well, listen, Max, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming on the show. How can people follow along? You have Chill Bros Ice Cream, all one word, on Instagram. What's your website?
Chillbros.com.
Chillbros.com. Locations: Water Street, Ybor, South Howard at the Epicurean, Beta Bay. Did I say? Armature Works.
Say Water Street.
Yeah, Water Street. Check them out, people. Beautiful. Max, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
beautiful.
it.
All right, bye everybody. Thank you guys for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like it. Check us out on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, give us a comment, give us some feedback. We want to know how we're doing. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.